4 months ago, I launched a new business and now it's crossed $1 million in revenue. My name is Shan and I've been doing this exact thing for so many different years. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 things that you need to do when you're coming up with what business to launch and how to actually make it successful. But before we get into that, I'm going to jump onto my Stripe and walk you through exactly the numbers. So as you can see here, year to date, and look, this is not a screenshot. Year to date, we are on 1 million. We launched in March. And since that time, month to month, we're delivering revenue. Obviously, that's gross revenue, being completely honest. Then you have net because Stripe takes some fees. And you also then have to pay expenses, costs, whatever. You don't actually make $1 million in your pocket. But that being said, it's still $1 million. Also, I'll jump into payments. And you'll be able to see these are actual payments coming in from real customers. So, as I said, within 4 months, $1 million. And saying that, what the first thing that you need to focus on when it comes to any business is solving a big enough problem. So I'm going to jump on my screen and walk you through exactly the business opportunity that I found when it came to starting Creator College. Just before we get in, so I already have an existing business. It's called GenFlow. And as this graph shows you, I've done $100 million in agency revenues. When it comes to business, I've been doing this for such a long time. As you can see, year on year, I have grown the agency all the way from 2 million in 2018, all the way up to $23 million last year. And, it's been 10 years. We've sold $300 million for some of the biggest people in the world. That's me with my team in our London office where I'm currently sitting and filming this. But what was it? So what was the big opportunity that I went after with this new business, which is called Creator College? Ultimately, Gen Z spends 6 hours a day on social media. The world has changed. Creators have all the power when it comes to what people like, what they want to buy, who they trust, what they believe in. Fundamentally, every single one of us, me, you, we watch people's content. More people watch YouTube on their TV than any TV channels or satellite, etc. Like categorically, the number one people that people watch is creators, is people online. Just like you're watching this video right now. So, half of our time on our phones last year was spent in social media apps. So even the time that people spend on their phones, half of your time is spent in a social media app, not necessarily Netflix and everything else. YouTube creators have a larger audience than any media outlet. So creators drive more views and get more attention than anybody else. So this just proves one thing, that having an audience is one of the greatest things you can have. So imagine as a business, I could help, or we at Creator College could help people build audiences. It could be very lucrative. So massive problem was that people know they want to grow audiences, but they don't know how to. It's obvious the market opportunity is there and the ones that are doing it are winning. I already know this because that's what I do every single day with my business GenFlow, that I know if you have an audience, it's worth a lot of money. And on the other side, I know so many people want to do this. And if you actually look at the stats, there's less people going to college and university every single year. They did a study in the US, which was the number one job kids want to do is actually become a creator. Why? Because it's entrepreneurship, right? Every single person dreams of being an entrepreneur. So there's this massive opportunity. So when I was launching this business, it was very clear that there's this massive opportunity that people want to become entrepreneurs, which is a form of being, a creator. And we can help them do that. Not only that, the truth is that those followers are worth a lot of money. So being a creator, there's never a better time than right now. Brands will pay $35 billion to creators this year for promotion. And the top 100 creators will make $700 million this year. Why? Because it's the best ROI. If you're a brand, how would you get more customers? Either you're going to pay for ads, you're going to produce your own content, or most likely you're going to pay creators to promote for you. And that is why it works massively. So imagine you would be a creator today, it's very lucrative. So having a business that teaches people how to become creators is a massive opportunity because people already want to become creators. They just don't have the access to the education, to the tools, to the systems and everything else, which I'll come on to. And Goldman Sachs here are saying the creator economy could approach $500 billion by 2027. So this is a massive business opportunity and there's a big problem to solve because people want to know how they can get there. And that's where we come in. But for you guys to understand the real opportunity, right? Why is this working? Why was this business gonna work? Why I knew we would do $1 million as fast as possible. Why I know we'll do 5 million plus this year and we will keep on scaling. Because of the audience first model. So the old way, which is the way everybody that's probably watching this believes that they're gonna scale their business, right? This is what a classic funnel looks like. You're gonna drive some awareness, some interest, you're gonna get high intent, then finally you'll make some purchase, right? You'll get some customers. Most brands start with a product product. You probably have an idea. You want to launch a business. You need a product. And then you're going to go and monetize that. What the audience first model does is it flips that. What it does is essentially you produce content. You're going to get engagement from that interest. A network effect begins and you have lots of people that are going to come and buy something. I'm saying this because this is what I do. I currently work with creators. We launch brands, businesses, and it works. But on the flip side, thousands of people, if not millions, also want to do that. So just kind of explaining from a business point of view how clear the opportunity was for us. And that is why we launched Creator College, but we did something very different. See, for me to be able to service everybody and help everybody physically build an audience, it's like almost impossible. I had to come up with a scalable way. So what we did instead is we launched a digital product first business with some service on the back end. I'll explain. So we took every single thing that we know, and I truly believe this is what you should be doing today. This is the easiest way and the best way to make the fastest money possible online today. You take what you know and you productize it. You take what you know and you put it together for someone else to buy and absorb and consume and implement. That allows you to do it in a scalable way. So what did we do? I sat down alongside my co-founder, June, who I did the business with. He comes from a background of actually building an audience, knowing what to do. So it was the perfect match. I understood how to build businesses. I understood how to monetize audiences. He understands how to build an audience from scratch. So together we can teach it to other people. So we took everything we know, even what my team knows, we packaged it into like 10 different programs for people to learn from. And that was all the information you ever need. And we continuously update that for someone to learn how to create content, how to become a creator, and how to monetize online. I'm talking about VSLs, landing pages, ads, like every single thing you could think of, content pillars, content strategy, all of that stuff. But with one key difference. So we did that. That's kind of like our first product, but we had to make sure we do it almost like semi-service driven. So we launched like a 4-week live experience that people join for $2,500. And in that, they get to do it live with us and ask questions, etc. This allowed us as a business model for it to be scalable, because on day one, we had 100 customers at $2,500. That would be impossible for us to service if we were just an agency, because you can't work with 100 people just like that. By the time you sign them, onboard them, start working for them, it's impossible to scale. So that was the smartest thing. So even for you right now, if you have a business idea, first, make sure there's a big enough problem to solve. 2, make sure your model is like this model, digital product with a service at the back of it. And then you can keep upselling more. So even we now have actual service at the back end, where if someone wants to hire us to like build a landing page or make some content for them, they can do it. So it allows us to bring more people in at the top. So they buy from us, do it themselves. Some people want it live and some people want to hire us to do it for them. If you were just an agency, we would nowhere have made $1 million in 4 months. And that is why a lot of your businesses are not scaling, because you haven't got the model right. And this was very important for us for this first step of what's the business and how we're going to structure it, what's the model going to be so it scales. The second part of building a business that can do $1 million plus so fast is that you need to know how you're going to sell it. And you got to be smart with that. So I'll walk you through what we did. We did one thing very different, and what works today is that we did free events. So we set up an event. The first one was called the Instagram Insider Week. The next one was called Pros Go Event. Third one's called Instagram Method. So each month we've been running these events. And what an event is, essentially it's free. It's going to be number of days. People are going to come, watch something for free. And on the back of it, we will try to be pitching them and selling them our product and service. And what that means is you have to essentially run ads, do organic content, and get people to a free event. Ultimately, you are getting people to opt in that, yes, I have a problem. Yes, I want to learn how to make content. Yes, I want to get more leads for my business. I want to grow my business. Yes, I want to learn how to monetize. So people are opting in and coming. Then what we had to do was we structured essentially day by day lessons where June himself will sit and like teach. I taught. Some of my team did. It's a live thing with thousands of people on there. We're getting live questions and we're spending, 2-3 hours a day for a couple of days back to back. And during that time, then we're pitching our product and service to people and people are signing up. And it's a great strategy. And to be honest, you don't need high numbers. Even if you only had 20 people join, you'll be able to convert few of them. It's a great way to be spending your time, because not only do you can make sales, it teaches you so much to live speak to people in your niche, in your industry, in the thing that you're trying to do, for you to get an understanding of what's really happening. Because the truth is, you'll have so many assumptions you're making when it comes to launching a business, when it comes to growing a business, without having that face time with people. You won't be able to understand and taste and feel it. So it's an amazing thing to do. The second thing is you got to be producing organic content. If you check out the Credit College Instagram, we started documenting and creating content even before we launched. We started showing people what are we doing, why are we doing, etc. So in a very short space of time, we've grown the page to 20,000 plus. It's verified and it looks absolutely amazing. And people know exactly what this business is when they land on it. The importance of having a brand page is a lot because it gives someone to go and check something to. Ultimately, your Instagram profile these days is like your landing page because it's probably the first thing people will check, then they'll go to your website. So the organic side was very important alongside June posting his content, which yes, reaches a lot of people, he has a big audience, but regardless of that, the rest of the business had to be set up and presented in the right way. So when he promotes it, it all works and comes together. And of course, he's driving a lot of organic traffic, which was a thing we knew we have to do to grow the business, to get the traffic, to be able to, market ourselves in the right way. The third way was we used email very well. So we kept collecting email addresses behind lead magnets, and then we would sit and send a lot of emails to convert people. We drove thousands of dollars from email alone because we're good at nurturing them and then trying to get them to buy at the right times versus just sending in emails for people to buy is very value driven first. So sending emails consistently would really help you sell more of whatever you're trying to sell. And the fourth thing was we started doing paid ads. The truth is we need to do so much more when it comes to paid ads, but we started using it as a way to just get more audience, get more traffic, get more leads, get more customers. So those 4 methods, doing free events, organic content, sending emails, paid ads, are the 4 ways that essentially we took that idea and went to market and made a success. Ultimately, drove $1 million in revenue doing so. And the key thing in all that is that wherever you send your traffic to, you have to make sure your landing page is really optimized. We did something on Credit College page is that we really honed in on what do people actually get? Because a lot of people want to know tangibly, if I was to join or pay, etc., what will I actually get? So when we documented that and listed that out, it started to really work. So we have consistently worked on optimizing our page. The amount of business owners that build a page and leave it, you have to constantly be looking at it, looking at the data, look at heat maps, look at video recordings, and be working on iterating that page to make it as solid as it possibly can be. And that's what we've been doing. And that's why each essential intake of people coming in, new customers, new clients, we've managed to get that conversion rate higher and higher because that is the right way to be thinking about it. That brings you on to number 3, that you actually have to do a really good job. So to increase retention, to increase reviews, to increase people loving it, you actually have to build a really good product or service. What we have done from the very beginning, I guess, on these 4 months, we've gone overboard to help people. So all our customers that we have, we are staying on calls for longer. I'm talking about the team is on them for hours going over, answering every single question. Me and the team are spending hours in the Discord helping people one by one, making sure every single thing that we promised them, we are over delivering on. Why? The truth is, we don't need to. The truth is, we're probably doing it too much. The truth is, we could chase growth and do other things. But this is the phase from my own experience that if you put in the work, it'll pay you dividends for years to come. It was the same in my agency, Genflow. I went overboard for my clients in the early days, and I still have those clients 9 years later. Because people don't forget what you do for them, and people remember, essentially, when you were there for them, and you did things which weren't needed, it doesn't go unnoticed. Same you could say in life with your friends, family, whoever. You'll always remember those things. So it's very critical at this time for us to be doing that by design, and it's helped grow the business. And then you can see this in our reviews. If you go to our YouTube channel, there's reviews there. On the website, there's reviews, and those reviews are now driving new users because people can see these are real normal people getting real results, and this whole thing is going to work. And that's a massive, massive plus point. So whatever your thing is, it doesn't end from making the sale. It ends when the person is a happy customer. So you got to keep doing what you're doing to make that work. So look, if you have a new business, if you're looking to start a business, follow that framework. Find a big enough opportunity. Make sure you've really dialed in the different ways you're going to get the attention of people. And lastly, make sure you have a solid product so people will keep coming back and buying from you. And just like that, you could be making $1 million in just 4 months.